What's up everybody? Welcome to my Rainbow Dragon drawing tutorial. First of all, I want to thank you all for clicking this video. It means a lot to me. So thank you. I really appreciate that. And I hope you enjoyed that intro I made in the beginning of the video. I know it's not perfect, but I really like it. So I hope you like it too. I will do my best to make you enjoy this video. And once more, thank you. It really means a lot to me. Okay, let's start. First, what you need from materials. Okay. First, you need this graphic pencil, like this. One eraser, one pencil sharpener, and some multiliners, and some coloring material, either colored pencils or markers. For this tutorial, I will use my COPIC markers. You can use any markers, it doesn't matter. Or you can use colored pencils. You can use whatever you want, just make sure to follow steps that I'm going to give you. Okay, now that we know what we need, we can start drawing. First, I'll start by drawing the rough sketch of head with no much detail, just a rough sketch. It doesn't need to look perfect, it doesn't need to look beautiful, just a guideline, something like that. You can see I didn't add much detail on feet, I just drew them like without detail. I don't know what to say, man. Okay, now that we've done that, use your eraser and gently erase sketch. Now, sharpen your pencil and go over these lines that you just erased. Now we can add much more detail than in a previous sketch, sorry. Make sure to draw these teeth sharp. We need them sharp. You can add as much detail as you like on the face. Have fun. Draw what you want on face. Now that we draw dragon's face, we can move on to the goggles. Also, we need to draw a rough sketch of goggles. Then we again use our eraser, erase the rough sketch of goggles, and then add more detail with our sharpened pencil. Now that we draw our goggles, we can add horns. We need them as sharp as teeth. Again, we will draw our rough sketch of horns and then erase them and go over the lines with sharpened pencil like earlier. Okay, this looks perfect. Now we can move on to the body. When it comes to drawing body, I like to start from neck and then do everything else. So start by drawing neck and then do rest of his body by drawing legs and claws. Now use your eraser and erase this rough sketch and add detail on legs and claws. You want to draw nails on dragon's claws. As you know, nothing is perfect, so if you're not satisfied with your drawing, you use your eraser, erase it and then draw again. You can draw as many times as you like until you're satisfied. Even I can draw perfectly, and that's exactly why I'm doing this. I think I'm finished with legs and claws. Now I can... what the fuck is this? Here I just want to add more detail on body. I don't like this shape, so I'm going to erase it and then draw it again. And now I will draw wings. You know, rough sketch, and you know how this goes. Also, we'll draw a tail. You can add as much detail as you like on the dragon. When you finish the rough sketch of wings, erase them and draw them again with more detail. Okay, now that we finished drawing Dragon's body, I think he needs a little bit more of detail, and we do that by adding stripes on his body. You can see I'm adding stripes all over his body. You don't need to do that. I do that because I like that. So just have fun with this part. Okay, now we finished the dragon. To complete this drawing we need a background, and for the background I thought of drawing this steam around the dragon. Also, you want to draw this steam fluffy, it will make it look more realistic. And by adding these rocks, you will make this drawing complete. You can draw them however you like, they just rocks. They don't have a certain shape. And that's it. This is how it looks finished. It's time to move on to the second part, which is inking. Okay, inking. There isn't much to say about it. All you have to know is to use a multiliner right size and to go over lines slowly. So here I'm going to show you what are the best multiliners for this drawing, and it's 0.1 and 0.05. We want them to be as small as possible, and these two are exactly what we need. So for the dragon I'm going to use 0.05. If you don't have one, you can use 0.1. Okay, this is how 0.05 looks like. Damn, that's pretty small, right? Alright, now I'm going to use this multiliner and go over the lines slowly so I don't mess up. Okay, and here is how inking looks like. Remember, just do it slowly. You don't have to rush. Oh yeah. And one thing I forgot to mention is you don't want to ink this steam. We'll save it for later. Okay, I finished inking the dragon. It's time for steam. Well, for this steam we want to use a gray color multiliner. So if you don't have one, that's fine. Just don't ink it, leave it like it is. Okay, so here is the one that I'm using. It's Stabilo 0.4. Let's ink it. Of course, you need to do it slowly. Now that we finished inking the whole drawing, it's time to erase the pencil. You can erase the whole drawing as you like, just make sure to gently erase the stripes. We need to see them. To do that, I will use this Faber-Castell eraser. You can use any eraser, it doesn't matter, just make sure to erase the stripes gently. Okay, Now that we've done that, it's time for the third part, which is coloring. Alright, it's time for coloring. As I said earlier, for this tutorial I will be using COPIC markers. You don't need to use them, you can use regular markers or colored pencils. For you who have COPIC markers, I'm going to show you what colors we'll be using. So here are all the colors I'll be using for this tutorial. But don't worry, it won't be that hard. I'll explain what colors you need to use for which part of the body. Also, don't worry, I'll put all the colors I used in description, so you can use the same colors as me. Okay, we can start. First I'm going to use warm gray tones to color the gray part on the head, and then by using red, purple and orange tones I'm going to color stripes. Also, when you're coloring these stripes, try to blend colors as much as possible. And you can do that by going multiple times with a lighter color over darker color. For teeth, I'll be using cool gray tones. For the tongue, I'll be using lipstick natural color and lipstick red color. For this area around the tongue, I'm going to color it with black. For the horns, I'll be using again warm gray tones, and for these bands on his horns, I'll be using blue tones. Okay, it's time for goggles. For goggles, we'll be using cool gray tones and yellow and brown tones. So here I'm going to add some highlights with the white color pencil and with Uniball white. Alright, it's time for the body. First I color the skin with warm gray tones. And then for the first stripe, I'll be using purple and pink tones. Also, I want to add some shadow on Dragon's neck. For the second stripe, I'll be using green, purple and pink tones. And for the third stripe, I'll be using red and orange tones. For his final stripe on the body, I want to use green and yellow tones. Now I'm going to color the skin on the legs with warm gray tones. And then I colored the stripes on legs with gray and yellow tones. For the claws, we want to use pink and red tones. For the stripe on his hind leg, we want to use purple and green tones. Also, I want to add some shadows here. Now I will color the skin on his hind leg with warm grain tones. And for the claw, we'll be using pink and red tones. Okay, it's time for wings. We want to color this area with brown tones. And we want to color the skin on his wing with warm gray tones. We'll use purple, pink, red, yellow and green tones. Also, let's add some shadow on the wing. Okay, and we'll do the same for the other wing. First we color the skin with the warm grain tones, and then we'll color the stripes. We'll color the stripes with yellow, green, red and purple tones. Alright, it's time for the final part, which is tail. We'll use the warm gray tones to color the skin, and to color the stripes we want to use red, green, yellow and blue tones. Also, let's add some shadow here. Alright, now that we finished coloring the dragon, it's time to add some highlights. I'll add them by using this Uniball Signo Broad white. You can do this by simply using the white colored pencil. Alright, now that we've done that, it's time to color this steam around the dragon. For this steam we'll be using cool gray tones, starting with the brightest one and then adding the darker tones. do the same for the other side, using the brightest one and then adding the darker ones. By adding these shadows on the steam, we'll make it look more fluffy, which is exactly what we want. Okay, now that we've done that, it's time for the final part, which is coloring the rocks. For the rocks, I'll be using the warm gray tones. You can use the cool gray tones, it doesn't matter. You can just use a brown color. I mean, you can color the rocks as you like. As I said, I'll be using warm gray tones. Okay, and we are done. And here is the final result. I think this looks amazing. Let me know in the comments what you think of this drawing. Also, if you like this tutorial, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Also, as the time passes, I will make sure to make my videos better. See you in the next video. Peace.